Hi, my name's Gene Champagne. Some of you might know me from a founding member and drummer of the Killjoys, current drummer of Teenage Head. And now I'm out with my own record, just Gene Champagne, a solo record. And thank you and welcome to the music, Summer.
All right, Gene, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Listen, first off, congrats on the new, what do we call it? An LP, an EP?
EP.
We're calling it
Yeah.
EP? All right.
Yeah.
Congrats on the new EP. Let's Jet. I've heard a couple of songs. I've heard the title track.
Okay.
And I heard Rock and Roll Boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that song.
Oh, thanks so much.
And so I know like it's in the spirit of punk, but as I was listening to Let's Jet, I'm thinking I hear a bit of the Cars in there. Like it's like it's not as heavy as the Cars. I mean, it's heavier
No,
than the Cars. The Cars aren't as heavy as this particular song, but I said I can hear something in there, you
I
know?
get that a lot. It's hard to put your finger on it. Am I punk? Am I rock and roll? Am I power pop? But I sort of think I fit where they all kind of converge. If you go back to early 70s music when there was pop and there was power pop and
Yeah,
punk, sort of like the Ramones and the Boys and that's where I think that's sort of where I fit in.
yeah,
And yeah, I kind of get that. I've had people say, "Oh, it still has that some of that 90s power pop sound." Well, I can't shake that. I was in the Killjoys.
yeah.
But but yeah, it's I'm really taken back by a lot of that early 70s power pop, bubblegum, rock and roll, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, stuff you can dance to and rock out to at the same time, you know?
Yeah,
And
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 it
I
gets you moving a bit.
and yeah, and I felt good listening to those two songs.
Oh, thanks. I
You know?
appreciate it.
Yeah, I really liked them. So I mean, so how was it, Gene, moving from, behind the drum kit to okay, I'm gonna be up front with the microphone and guitar in hand and
Well,
be
I've
right
done that.
there.
Yeah, I've done that before. I did that with Gene Champagne and the Unteens, which was my band after
That's
the.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've done that, and I've done it in a band called Junior Achiever. Junior Achiever was right after the Killjoy stopped, and I was writing music and playing guitar.
Okay.
I needed an outlet because the Killjoys were on hiatus. We didn't know when we were coming back, so that's kind of how that started. And but this solo record is truly a solo record in that
Yeah.
I stepped out and I did everything myself. So it kind of started out as demos, and I was really liking what it was doing. I'm thinking I'm just going to keep recording these as a record, and that's kind of what it turned out to. I had total control because I played every instrument, I recorded it, I produced it, I engineered it, I mixed it. The only thing I didn't do was master it.
What's your process when it's just you and you're playing everything? Where does the song start from? Is it some lyrics you might have written down a couple of years ago?
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
pieces. It would be a little riff or something that I worked on a little while ago, or
Okay.
something. What generally happens with me is I'll hear most of the song in my head, and it's such an earworm that it's just on repeat and repeat until I finally get it out in some format. Whether I go record it and it's just done really crappy, but I have to get it out. It's like if you had to put pen to paper just to get your thoughts out. That's
Okay.
the same process for me.
Are you on keys? Are you with the guitar? What's the first instrument you're picking up and singing to it?
The guitar.
Guitar.
the
Okay.
guitar. And then so when I record something by myself, that's the process. So
Yeah.
it has to be an assembly line because I can't play with a band. So generally
Sure.
it'll happen. I'll play guitar. I'll come up with all my ideas, and then that'll be my ghost for everything. So I'll put down a click track,
Okay.
and I'll play the guitar to the click track, and that's my guide. And then after that, I'm hearing most of it in my head. So I'll sit down next. I'll put the drums on. Then I'll go back and I'll put the bass on, and then I'll fill it in with all the little nuances that kind of make it fly.
That's really interesting. And
Yeah,
you
and I love that process. As
oh
soon as you start getting more of the guitars in, and it just starts really thickening up, that's when you really feel it.
ah. So I know later this month you're playing a few shows.
Correct.
Um, how do you choose who's going to join you, or is it literally going to be you and a
No,
guitar?
no. So my band, the Unteens, because
Okay.
they're still going to join me on these shows.
Okay,
It's just, where do I get a band? Do I start with new guys, or am I going to use the guys that
of course.
I'm used to playing with? So they're going to come out and join me on these shows.
Oh, that's
But I
gonna
get
be
to
awesome.
celebrate the songs that I did.
Yeah. Um, so I sort of want to talk about, you've gone through stuff, like is the simple
Lots of stuff.
lots of stuff. And if somebody who didn't know you were to read your a bit of your bio, they go, why is this guy still around? Why is he still making music? Why is he smiling on a screen here? Like I'm feeling you're giving out great vibes, G. This is awesome. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Your mom passes away.
Right, right.
Members of your band pass away. Let's start with your mom though, Gene. I don't want to just pass over her. A lot of when your kids' parents are helping them, taking them to choir or piano practice. What's the role of mom and your parents in you and your music journey?
Well, my mom was my entire music journey. She was the one. So, when your parents, they try to get you in the hockey and the football stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that just wasn't my thing. My hero when I was young, no, I'm not even going to say hero, but sort of my inspiration, sort of a goofy one, was Chris from the Partridge Family, the young kid
Okay.
on the drums. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember watching television and seeing his blue sparkly kit, and he was probably my age, maybe a little bit younger. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe I want to do that. Look at that kit. That's beautiful. If he can do it, I can do it. So my mom, she picked up on that, and right away she put me into some lessons. And
Oh,
she was the advocate. She let me put my drums in her bedroom, so that's where I practiced.
oh my
Uh,
God.
oh yeah, insane. So she really pushed me towards all of that. Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
was great.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And she got to see you like go on tour and record music and live out like rock and roll dreams. That must have been amazing.
It was, well, she didn't come to many shows, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Not because she didn't want to. It's just I
Yeah.
sort of disconnected from all that, like having family around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as she was older, and she wasn't moving around so well, I brought her to a club show, and I had everyone kind of look after her, and they found a spot behind the bar in a safe spot, and she really enjoyed that. That was great. So
That
she
is
finally
awesome.
got to come and do it in a hometown show. It was great.
That's amazing. Um, a couple of your bandmates from Teenage Head passed
Yeah,
away. Most recently, Gordy.
correct.
Um, talk to me about, and you guys are still performing. You guys are still hitting the road.
Yeah, we
Ta-
are.
yeah, talk to me about that decision of still playing and um what do those guys mean to you, and what's sort of their legacy?
Well, when I was, 15 years old, everyone has their band when they're young,
Yeah.
and they find their music. And I stumbled across them. I was probably about 15 years old, and I didn't really realize that they were a local band. They were giant
Yeah,
stars, right? I heard them on the radio, and I
that's right.
finally got their record. And then I realized, oh, they're from Hamilton, you know. But I was from Stony Creek, so when I was young, you'd have to take a bus ride downtown, and that was like going to Hollywood because all the stars were there.
Ha, ha, ha.
So that's my funny story. And I remember telling Gord that he kind of laughed at that, but it was great. It was really great. And as my musical journey went on, Gord actually became a fan, and he would come out to our shows. I saw his shows,
Wow.
and that was neat. So we developed a relationship there. So
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
that
And
is
and
awesome.
then pitch myself years later, I'm in the band. That's unheard of, right?
That's just crazy.
Hmm.
I mean, so okay, so a Hamilton band, and you're right. Like when I first heard them, they were, I don't know where they were from. They were from England, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. And then you go, what? They're from here? They're from Hamilton, you know? Um, what's Gene, you gotta tell me this.
Sure.
I just went to see Tom Wilson's play a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Yeah.
that was playing in one of the theaters in Hamilton. You've obviously got the Lanois brothers, you got Wade McNeil, Tara Lightfoot. I mean, what's in the water in
We
Hamilton?
get that all the time. I don't know. It's just a great, gritty city. There's so many artistic people there. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, the list goes on. The Forgotten Rebels, the Arkells,
yeah.
uh, you name it.
It's just amazing. And then I'm hearing stories that there's problems in Hamilton with funding the arts and things like that. It's like Hamilton's one of the, I don't know what it is it Canada, Seattle? Like what is it? Is it, there's something about, you're right, the grittiness of the steel town, and there's just stories to tell. Um
Yeah,
because
I don't know. I mean, we all had our go in the 90s. Remember when Sloan was coming up and Halifax was the place to be?
yeah,
And then
sure, yeah.
in the 90s there was Junk House and the Killjoys, and there's probably a
Yeah,
few more.
Junk House, of
And then
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then later on we have the Arkells, we have I'm trying to think, Monster Truck.
Oh,
There-
of
There's
course, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
Monster Truck. So we have some Dirty Nil right now. There's tons, and
Yeah.
of course Sarah, she's taken off like crazy. Huge.
Hamilton's the place to be. Hamilton's the
Yeah,
place to be. Um, how is your health, Gene?
I feel better than before I was sick. Believe it or not. Yeah, it's weird because I've had other friends that didn't have it near as severe as I did, and they
Oh,
still have
yeah, you're
long
right.
COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
long COVID, right? But you
exactly. And
were,
you know what? I got to go knock on some wood, but I've been really good.
yeah, you were in a coma for like a week or something.
Correct. On a ventilator. Correct.
Yeah. Now, was that like induced to like help you get better, or
Induced jab, but
yeah?
it's not a good thing. I mean,
No.
my lungs were failing, and that was the only way that they could. At that time, that was one of the techniques that they used to try to relieve you. Um, I'm gonna go back a little bit
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was a terrible, terrible fear to have. I was When I was diagnosed with COVID, I had it before any of the vaccines, so it was the second wave. So through the first wave, we all
Wow.
remember the news of people. There was shots everywhere where people were just dying. There was shortage of ventilators. Um,
Yeah, and
People
that's our
got
image, right? Like this
that
is,
that
yeah.
exactly. So when I was finally in the hospital, now I was tested multiple times and they couldn't find it. It was always negative. But when I was in the hospital, they said, we're going to treat you as if you have COVID. We are convinced. And it wasn't until they put me on the ventilator, they had to do, I'm going to call it, it's like a biopsy, but it's not
Okay.
really. They had to take a piece from the lung. And that's when
Okay.
they determined 100% this is COVID.
Wow.
And that's how they figured it out.
Wow, that's just crazy. And like
So
how, go ahead, yeah.
going back to that, what they do is they put you on a ventilator so that the machine is going to help your lungs do the breathing so that it can take time to heal. And what
Yeah.
they learned from Europe is, I can't remember what the name of it is, but what they do is they flip you over on your stomach,
Oh,
and they'll put you like that for 18 hours at a time. And what that does is it drops your rib cage and opens up everything so that there's more room for your lungs to
oh,
expand and
really?
contract. And then they flip you back over.
Oh,
And apparently that's what they did to me, and I think that was probably one of the reasons it saved me.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. They learned a lot from that. But the I didn't realize till after that that it was such a close call, because at that time it was like a 30% survival rate. So
Wow.
that's why I'm here smiling.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That is for sure. I mean, at what point in time do you go, okay, I'm ready to go back? I'm like, let's get back behind the kit. Let's get back behind the mic. Let's start playing. Let's start
When I
writing.
was lying there motionless, after I came off the ventilator, I was so weak and disoriented. Um, Obviously I didn't see anyone for a month. Like, I had no family, no one was allowed in there. There was nothing.
Yeah, yeah, you're
It was
right.
just eyeballs. I couldn't. There was no faces because everyone had a mask on,
Yeah,
and so I would just constantly think about home, my dog, my family, and getting back to playing. But because I was so weak, I couldn't really move very much. And I'm thinking, is this how it's going to be? And I don't want it to be this. I just want to get back to playing. I want
yeah.
to get back to playing. And I kept thinking about Teenage Head and getting back with those guys. And I just worked and worked and worked at it. And here I am.
Yeah, you're right. There's something about it. I mean, I didn't have a big a scare as you did, but when was it? 2002 or something. I had liver surgery, and I just remember being in the hospital for like goddamn the longest time ever. I thought only 2.5, 3 weeks, but it just seemed to
It seems forever, doesn't it?
yeah, it seems forever.
Yeah.
And I just remember I just want to get back to life. Like, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
not a musician or anything, so nothing exciting like that, but I just wanted to get back to some semblance of normal,
And
normalcy.
independence
Yeah,
to go for a walk by yourself, to be able to
yeah,
drive. I remember when I got to drive for the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I had questions for you in terms of what keeps you going, but I think back to me and I go, I'm not a musician. I just wanted to keep going. I just wanted to get out of the hospital, get better, and just
Go.
live again and just go, right? There's something in the human spirit, no matter what you're doing, when you get stopped, you just I remember telling somebody the human body was meant to move. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you're stopped, against your will by sickness or whatever, you just can't wait to start moving again.
100%.
There's something there. Um, you looking forward to these live performances, Gene?
I am. I am.
Yeah.
It's fun because I'm so used to playing the drums that it's just a nice change for me to get out there and play guitar and do something different and engage a little more because I'm not kind of tucked away
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sloan, they're famous for having different singers and people going,
and swapping around. Yeah.
yeah. So, are you going to do any of that sort of stuff?
No, no.
No, just
Yeah, I've got enough of the drums, man. I'll get to that later.
nice. That is awesome. Listen, Gene, we have this segment on our show called Lost Venues,
Okay.
and I'm wondering if you have a venue in mind. Doesn't exist anymore. Maybe it's in the Hammer, maybe it's somewhere else, but maybe you've got like a hilarious story, or maybe a dark story. Uh,
I have lots of those. You know what? I'm trying to think of now. It's in Winnipeg,
okay.
in the Killjoy days. So that would have been mid 90s. And I can't for the life of me think of what the name of the bar was, but it's no longer there. And we were doing a show with the Posies and the Treble Charger, I recall. So
Okay.
we showed up to the venue very early and we had to meet the promoter who was also working in a restaurant somewhere. So we went to meet him, and I don't know what was going on, but this kid came in the back, and I think it had to be something sketchy with drugs or something. He grabbed the kid, and just like out of a movie, he put his head to the fryer and was yelling at him. We're like, we're out of here. We're getting the hell out. He didn't do it. It was just threatening. And
Oh,
we're like,
geez.
oh, my, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Okay. Well, anyway, I got away from him, went to the venue, and this just sounds like I'm making it up, but I swear. We get to the venue, and our tour manager's in the front lobby because he's setting up the merch area, all their
Yeah.
t-shirts and what. All of a sudden, this guy, like a whirlwind, just comes rolling into the venue, yelling, "Anyone want a piece of me?" And he gets shuffled out.
Yeah.
And like, is this happening? Is this even happening? And then it's time for us. We're on the stage, and some guys are getting up. They're getting rambunctious. The place was just overrammed. Kids are getting on the stage. The security is going nuts and literally throwing kids off the stage, not properly. And then after the show, we heard that someone was held up in the bathroom.
This is like a punk show. I mean,
Yeah, all that happened in one day. And I swear, I can't remember the name of this place. There was the Junkyard and Ozzy's. And I think it might have been the Junkyard.
all right. That is a great. Oh my goodness! Like
True
all in
story.
one day.
All in one day, one show.
That's like a heavy episode of The Sopranos or something like that.
I've told the story before. It's bizarre. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh my goodness. Life of a touring musician.
Well, that only happened once.
That's yeah, there can be books written about this. Gene, you're talking to me, you're inside a home studio. I'm always interested in the type of gear that you've got, that people have there. What do you have, behind you? What's around you? What happens in this particular
What's
room?
going? Oh, this room, I've just sort of set it up. It's just an extra room in my house, and this is where I kind of do mixing or any sort of guitars. I'll do them here. I have another part in my house where it's set up for drums and all the loud stuff. So I'm kind of portable. So if I want to do drums, I'll go do everything I need to do that's loud. I'll come
Yeah.
back up into this room and then I'll assemble it and tweak it and maybe sing up here, play some guitar. can do all sorts in here.
Nice. That is
Yeah,
awesome. Listen, we got some shows coming up
yeah,
later this month. Why don't we talk about them? You're going to
sure.
be
So
at June 4th. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
June 14th, I'm going to be at the Bovine. That's
Yeah.
part of North by Northeast, and I'm going to be supporting my pals, the Black Halos. It will be a late show. I'm assuming I'm on anywhere between 12 and midnight, and they're on later. I don't
Oh,
know what the
wow.
deal is there. Yeah. Tickets for that are probably through northbynortheast.com, sort of like the pass that can get you into all the shows,
Yeah.
or you can
Yeah.
probably show up and just pay at the door.
Yeah.
The next night, we're at Palisade. So June 15th, we're at Palisade Social Bowl in London.
All right.
And that's a cool venue. I've done that one before with the Killjoys, and it's just a great, back in the 90s, if you said, oh, you're playing a bowling alley, we would have been on the phone with our agent saying, what are you doing? But we played this, and it's fantastic because it's set up. One side is the venue, and
Yeah.
the other half is a bowling alley, which they kind of shut down. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not banging all the way, and there's a restaurant and some arcade stuff, so it's a really kind of cool venue. Clean bathrooms for us old people, right?
There you go.
That's so important when you're our age.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's happening June 15th, again with my pals, the Black Halos, and then my own record release show, which I'm really looking forward to, at the Corktown here in Hamilton, Ontario.
And
Tickets for
that's June 29th.
Saturday, June 29th, correct.
And that's a night show, afternoon. Like what are
Night
we looking
show
at?
at the
Okay.
Corktown Pub, and
All
I've
right.
got Jesse James Medicine Show and a friend of mine, Dave Bonford, are going to open the night. And tickets at eventbrite.ca. I hope you
Awesome.
can join us. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. Gene, where can people go to find out more information about you? What's your
About
website?
this record,
Look at
I want
that.
them to come and get this record. So you can come to my Gene Champagne Music on Facebook. You can go to Gene Champagne what is it, Gene Champagne _official for Instagram.
Yeah.
My own personal Facebook page is just Gene Champagne. Where else can you go? You can find all my music on any digital platform: Spotify, Apple, iTunes.
iTunes, YouTube, Amazon, Deezer, iHeart.
It's all there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, this is
And
awesome. Yeah.
and also the vinyl you can pick up locally. You can pick it up in London at Speed City Records. You can
Okay.
pick it up most Hamilton record stores. Burlington at Looney Tunes. In Toronto, Sonic Boom. I know there's a bunch
Sonic
of
Boom. All right. That is awesome. Gene, thank you so much for joining us. Before I let you go, this is a question we ask all of our guests right at the end.
Sure.
By the way, we're gonna have links in our show notes and on our website to drive people to come to your show to pick up your album. But tell me, Gene, what do you listen to these days? Like, what's in your earbuds when you're just, I don't know, maybe driving the car, picking up groceries, or heading to a gig, or maybe just relaxing at home? What's playing in the speakers? What's playing in your earbuds?
I still listen to a lot of the old music. I'll put the old boys on. I'll put the Ramones on.
Yeah.
New stuff. I like the Annie Queens, new band.
Okay.
I like them a lot. Other Hamilton boys like the Dirty Nell. I love those guys. So yeah, but I'm listening to a lot of older stuff. I like a lot of some of the classic rock too. It gives me the feels. I'll even listen to Steve Miller Band, for God's sakes. I
my
love
goodness, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, it's classic rock. There's something about classic rock.
The Cars, love the Cars.
Yeah, for sure. Gene, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy that your health is better. You're doing great. Thank you so much for your energy. This has been a blast and a real treat.
Yeah, I've had fun too. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.